Welcome to the Bear Pit Pod. We are back after a little bit of an absence.
2 weeks, 3 weeks. It feels a lot longer than 2 weeks, but
yeah, 2 weeks. I was in Gibraltar for 1 week, and then I was at Cheltenham last week.
I was in New York as
and
well.
You were in New York.
I think that vaguely clashed. I'll just join you with your travel.
Look at us, we're globetrotters.
Yeah.
Globetrotters, we're all over the world. But since we've been away, we've missed a couple of games.
We've not missed much.
We've not missed much. There's not been any goals to miss.
Literally, no, there's not.
A few 0-0s here and there. The latest one that we missed was Derby.
Mm-hmm.
Again, nothing too much to write home about that fixture.
I'm sure we'll come on to that. But I've got. I mean, are we going to cover each game in reasonable detail or just do a big summary?
Yeah, just do a summary now. What do you want to say about it, Chris?
I want to say I watched the Derby game online and I come back thinking that was a reasonably solid performance. I jumped onto the usual places, oatcakes and whatnots, and I was quite shocked to see a lot of negativity towards the performance. I thought we were reasonably solid against a decent Championship team. I thought we defended very well. Admittedly, going forward we were a bit toothless, but I thought it was okay. Would you mind to watch that one?
Yeah, no, I've seen all those games, and you know, I jump in and out now. Yeah, because I'm watching them, but I'm not watching them. So these unentertaining 0-0 games, my attention just fades.
Yeah,
honestly, that's what I find at the minute with watching Stoke.
I'm just in the moment. It's well and truly about the rebuild, isn't it? So I'm trying to analyse it from that point of view. Are we going in the right direction? Are we progressing? A little bit of me says
yes, bits here and there,
but going up front, I'd say we're arguably regressing slightly.
Yeah,
even from Rowett, which is
definitely
worrying.
The worst part of our game.
It's mad to think that going into the season, I remember we had Diouf, Berahino, Crouch, Afobe, Campbell in the wings, and we thought, we've got a good set of strikers there. Then all of a sudden we've got no one. Berahino's getting arrested, Campbell's out on loan, Crouch is gone, Afobe is still, jury's well and truly still out on him.
And Vokes,
who was injured. I don't know, I kind of
strength in depth.
Feel bad for Diouf. Well, I can't, he's on 50 grand a week, but I mean, he had a decent place in Stoke City fans' perspectives, I feel. Reasonably bit of a cult sort of figure-ish, kind of. But God, he's gone bad, and he wasn't great before. I don't like to dig out players too much.
Lost it a little bit.
I think he's lost confidence as much as he had ability, but yeah, he's poor, extremely
poor. The curse of the Bear Pit Christmas jumper.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, no, wait, that was last Christmas.
Who did you have in it last Christmas?
No, Drew Flaw's last Christmas.
Was he?
Yeah.
I thought it was one before last.
No, before that was
Bojan.
Yeah, curse of the Christmas jumpers. But going back to the most recent game then, and something that was bright and did grab my attention was Verlinden got a start.
He did.
His first league start, his debut, so to say, league debut. And he was bright.
He was. He looked like a player that hadn't experienced the burden of relegation and all the negativity of the club over the past 18 months, and it really reflected on the pitch.
He was positive.
Positive, direct. He actually tried to beat the fullback. I can't remember the last time I've seen a winger do that. McLean cuts inside, he doesn't really get beyond, does he?
And I can't remember which defender it was, but one of them in the game just wiped him out. I think it was near the touchline. He'd gone round him, and the defender just wiped him out, got a yellow card.
But it didn't faze him. Like, extremely confident. I mean, is he 19 or 18, 19, something like that?
I think so. 19, 20 maybe.
And he's got a lot of maturity for his age. He was kind of always wanting the ball. He wasn't hiding. I mean, if I was ever making a debut for a professional club, I would absolutely shit myself. I'd hide in the corner and want the ball. But he was just real mature, positive start from him, and it's the one positive we'll take from the Reading poor draw.
I know that you have to protect these players and not let them get ahead of themselves, but I think he's warranted to start in the 100%. Next match.
I mean, 100%. You can't drop him after that. It's just ridiculous, yeah.
But we did in this game. Not only did Verlinden, but we started brightly. We hit the post and crossbar early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Vokes and I can't remember who the other chance was. Ince hit the post. Yeah. Vokes hit the crossbar. We also had, I think it might have been Verlinden who whipped it in, and just an inch or two off, just tapping it in. Yeah. A really great start.
It was.
The first half was all us.
It was the first 20-25. I thought. I actually turned to my dad and said, look, this is the first time I've seen us get beyond a team consistently for dare I say, years almost. I just don't remember the last time we battered a team as consistently as that. I was thinking, right, here we go. This is it. We're gonna do these 3-4, comfortably win all the rest of it. But as Stoke tend to do this year, that was short-lived, and then we just regressed into what has been the recent months of. I don't know what happened after that. We just lost all structure going forward, and
we just sort of crumbled.
We really did.
The second half was nothing short of one of the most boring halves of football I've seen.
It was poor, and if anything, I felt Reading looked slightly more threatening as the game wore on. They grew in confidence. We allowed a poor team to think, we can get something here, and it showed. It was reflected in the performance. And if you'd have told me after 25 minutes we'd come away from this performance highly frustrated, I wouldn't have believed you.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, we were battering them.
The last 65 were shite, weren't they, really? They were just lost all sense of direction. I don't know why, again. I've said that all season. I don't get this Stoke squad. I don't understand them. I really don't.
There was a change, and I think it was around the 70th minute. Verlinden came off and Bojan came on.
Yeah.
That was probably the most notable change that we made. Bojan's been a really strange case now because he's had time. Jones has had time. Said he's an integral part of his plans. There's a bit of an argument going on between some older Stoke fans, some younger Stoke fans, people who've got a lot of faith in Bojan. I'm not sure what to make of it now. I've always been a big fan of Bojan in the Bojan camp, but I don't know where he fits into this team anymore. With Verlinden coming in and doing so well as well in his position, so to say. I think his days are numbered.
I tend to agree, and I'm becoming more and more frustrated by the Bojan situation. It is creating a mini divide amongst fans, which was
I've seen the hashtag today, the older generation or the whatever, referring to the younger generation who support Bojan as the hashtag Bojan bummers.
Right. Okay.
So search that hashtag, and you'll find the argument yourself.
Yeah. Well, this is what I mean.
Are you a Bojan bummer, Craig?
No, I'm not. I've said it on this podcast several times that I'm not a BB. I just think it's the third manager now that's not shown faith in it. I've repeated myself again. Bojan was ace. Them 3-4 months, his first season was probably the best individual performance I've seen in my lifetime from a Stoke player. He was a cut above. You'd clearly seen that he'd been in Barcelona. There was something unique about him. I thought, wow. After the injury, he
just while you say on about Barcelona,
yeah.
See Messi at the weekend? See his goals?
Yeah, he got a hat trick.
Yeah, did you see the last goal?
He chipped, but I didn't see it. He lobbed something.
He did it.
You
4 or 5 years ago against Tenerife. Do you know who assisted him?
Bojan assist.
Yeah,
Bojan assist.
He's done it before.
What was Bojan?
Carry on with your
I forget I was going to go. He was great. Injury. He came back and showed brief glimpses of that sort of great form, but he's never got there again. And I, as much as the next person, still feel that he's never been given a consistent run since his injury, which is. It's bizarre. He's not, even under Hughes, he may be at best start 3-4 and then he'd be dropped. I think he's always needed that, but managers aren't giving him that time for a reason. They see him day in, day out, and I do occasionally see him in the Championship looking a little bit out-muscled. He's never bad when he comes on, though. That's the frustrating thing. That's why he continues to have the BBs.
BBs.
Yeah. They see a bit of quality and a bit of consistency that they think, well, he deserves to go. It's not like he's coming on and playing awful consistently.
I mean, the game.
I'm just sick of it.
Was it Hull? He played 70 minutes.
I thought he was fine. He was all right. And then he started against. Was it Forest? He started against Forest. I think it was Forest. I can't remember now. But he started recently at home anyway and played okay. Again, he came on the weekend, played okay. I can't answer why he's not starting. But I've got to have a certain amount of faith in these several managers that continue not to pick him. I'm just sick of the bloody debate now.
Me too, Craig. But that was it. 0-0. Boring. Not much to say about it. Best player, obviously, and man of the match will go down to Verlinden.
Verlinden, yeah, he was very good. I thought Danny Bat was okay.
Bat was good. You had a stinker.
I thought Ince was.
Ince has been missing for.
Missing is the word.
God knows how long now.
Missing is the word.
You wouldn't know he's on the pitch.
Where was he even playing? I don't really... I can't picture sometimes the formation we're going with, but was he...
I think he was wide.
Was he? He kind of drifts.
Like central wide.
If he's not hugging the touchline, I think he's too weak to be effective in the middle because he gets muffled off the ball. There's a good player there, but I don't know where he is or how to get him out of his shell because he's not seen it at the moment. He was poor.
Yeah, he's
frustratingly poor.
Really needs to step it up. And for the money that we paid for him, what was it, 12?
Oh God, it's insane, isn't it? The amount
12
of
million.
money.
And he's just not firing. He's not. You wouldn't like we said. You wouldn't even know he's on the pitch.
No. It was a shocker. I thought, it was awful. I thought McLean played quite well. Personally, McLean's had a really bad season in relation to his relationship with the club and the fans and all the rest of it. I still think there's a player there with McLean, and I think he's what we need in the Championship. Whether we'll ever see that consistently, I don't know. I don't know if he's burning his bridges deep down, but I thought he played okay. Vokes was very quiet. He was clearly still injured, I felt.
Yeah, not 100%.
He really struggled to get into the game. Other than that, it's 6.5.
That's it. Verlinden, yeah. You've got it. You're the man of the match.
Well done, mate.
We'll give you a trophy soon.
One honour.
A few news stories to get onto, so to say. I think the game at the weekend was the first of the SCFC Lovers Noise movement, so to say. I'm not sure how it went down.
It was good. I mean, I estimate...
Did you hear him? Or?
Yeah, I did. I mean, the atmosphere's been poor at the Brit or the Bet365 for a while now, and you can't help but not hear a consistent singing section. I mean, there was only about, from what I could see from the... Is it the Sentinel stand we're sitting now? I don't know. That stand, I noted about 75 to 100 of them, and they consistently sung throughout. And
banners, flags?
Not.
I think they had a few flags.
There were some. I didn't see them. Maybe I didn't look at the right time. I didn't see them, but I do like the idea that they're not going to create this fake ultra thing.
They're not going to be the.
They're not going to be Crystal Palace because I hate the Crystal Palace thing. It just looks contrived. I don't like it. I think their bottom philosophy is, if you want to sing a home game, just come and stand over here. I think that as a base point is, fill your boots because we need it. It's flat. I think it encouraged those that weren't in that specific section to join in. It created a bit of an atmosphere in and around it. So it's
fair enough.
It's fine. Yeah.
Cool. You going to go over? Join the guys?
Probably not. I'd miss my dad.
Right. Get your dad in.
He's not singing.
He's not a singer.
He'll just moan.
So he's part of the problem. Get him out.
Yeah.
As well as that, last week, Glen Johnson was on 5 Live.
Of course, yeah.
I mean, how many of our current or ex-players are now on 5 Live? I'm losing count. And I actually should have spent some time with Glen Johnson myself the other week, but I went to the Captain Marvel premiere instead.
Did you?
Yeah, so could have asked him myself. But on 5 Live, Glen Johnson mentioned about Mbula and mentioned about tons of problems that he knew we were going to get relegated, apparently, in pre-season. He knew it was all going to go tits up. And he had tons of stories of bad things that went on, but he could only say one, and that was that Mbula in a pre-season game subbed himself off because Charlie Adam wouldn't pass to him.
Yeah. This is under Hughes. I'm surprised, for all Hughes' faults, I still having trouble believing that story. As if Hughes wouldn't bollock him and tell him to piss off. Can you believe that?
The more I think about it,
I don't get it.
I think more if it had happened at the time, more people would have noticed it.
It would have been a thing. It would have been a social media feature.
Surely.
I mean, what a headline! Player subs himself off. Then
surely would have seen it. I'm trying to cast back my mind to the pre-season friendlies that year. Was the one in France, a few in Germany?
I think so. We did a bit of a mini tour, didn't we?
I'm not sure. I don't think it was the Euro and Cup. I don't think it was that year. But I can't think of a game when it might have happened. God knows, and they might have just covered it up. Yeah. But you'd expect Hughes to have gone absolutely ballistic.
I'm not saying I don't believe Johnson because there's no real purpose in lying unless you want a bit of a clickbait story. But I just struggle to believe that Hughes wouldn't have gone apeshit. And the thing that I really find disgraceful, again if true, is that apparently we put a young youth player on in place of him, but then when Mbula decided he wants to play again,
came back on,
we took this young player off again. That's just completely
surely someone's done the detective work here and looked into the pre-season friendlies and figured out what game it was.
I don't know.
If you have, let us know.
But it is very reflective of what happened, really, in it last season.
I was going to say it sums up what state the club was in.
No organisation. No, it created I read the comments from this story, and you can see a bit of a divide among Stoke fans. Some were saying, "Oh, here's another one of the old pros digging out the new lads and stuff." Well, Imbula didn't really play a part in a relegation. The old pros did. Those that have come out and had a go. Charlie Adams and all this.
It's a fair point. Glen Johnson and the Charlie Adams and the whoever Darren Fletchers are saying, well, you lot didn't do anything. You see Charlie Adam picking on Shaqiri.
Yeah,
Shaqiri did a lot more than Charlie Adam did for us that season.
Yeah.
There's a bit of that back at him. What did you do then?
Yeah.
Glen Johnson saying all these stories. What did you do to help? Because you didn't have a great season that year.
I mean, I can appreciate that to a point. I mean, what is unquestionable is we bought some real dickheads, haven't we?
Oh yeah.
I mean that's we spent 50 million on extremely poor players with often very bad attitudes, and we're never going to win any football games that way, are we? We didn't win many at all.
Yeah, well, let's not make ourselves even more sad and remember the relegation season.
No.
Jack Butland spoke this week and said about his move.
Mm-hmm.
He says it'll be a sad time when he has to move from Stoke City. He said, to quote him, "I wanted to get promoted with Stoke and I'm doing everything I can to help us achieve that. I've done everything I can all year and will continue to do so. The rest is history and we'll see what happens." I think he could go this summer.
I think he will go. I think dare I say, I think it's probably the right move now.
I think he'll go Bournemouth.
You called this, didn't you, last time? Begovic the other way.
I don't know if we'll get Bego back now, but I think Bournemouth are the ones in need of a keeper. Maybe even Palace.
Yeah, I think what's a shame here for Jack is that 18 months ago his level was well above Bournemouth Palace. He was thinking top 4, top 6 at worst, I think was his very game. And now he really has had to lower the size of club that he felt he probably was aiming for 18 months ago. And I think justifiably he's not had the best of 18 months, has he?
No, definitely. And I think that now would be the right move for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that his goal or target, so to say, with the England setup and everything, because he's still in the England setup.
Yeah.
Pickford's not doing great.
No.
He had an absolute shocker the other week.
Yeah.
I think his aim or goal would be to get to a Bournemouth or a Palace.
Yeah.
I think one of them would suit him as well down south because he loves London.
Yeah.
He loves going to the NBA and fucking Super Bowl and all that sort of stuff. So a life down south would suit him. And then he has that chance in the Premier League to show off what he can do and try and get his England spot back.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes sense.
I think Jack will go in the summer. I wouldn't begrudge him that. But I'm really starting to ponder now how much we get for him. Because at one point we were quoting comfortably plus 30. I don't think we'll get...
No, I'd say 25.
I think it'll be low 20s now. I estimate it'll be 2021, which is a shame because I thought we were... At the peak of his powers, I thought he could have been pushing 40 with the way the market was going. But now I think it'll be nearer 20.
Well, with every clean sheet, his price tag's going up.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of them.
We've got plenty. Let's be briefly positive. 4 clean sheets on the bounce is not easy to do in professional football. At all.
But it is easy to not score.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've done the flip side of that. But that is good. It shows we've tightened up the defence, which has been very questionable.
Yeah, which was dodgy. We just need to be able to go up the other end and do something.
Score, and we look quite far away from doing that.
Which we can't at the minute.
Something at the minute.
Lastly, which was a story which came out today, was Badu and Day.
Oh yeah.
Which is he's coming back in the summer. Yeah. He's contracted till 2022.
You lose. I saw the post.
Galatasaray don't want him.
You lose track of these players that are out.
That we've got.
And we have still Vimmer, Imbula.
They'll all be back.
They're all Stoke players.
They're all back this summer.
They are Stoke City players. That's about.
We
just
can't
under 50
sell
million
for love nor money.
It's 50 million pounds worth of talent, inverted commas, just knocking about the continent. I mean, in Dye's, I do view him slightly different to the rest of them. I mean, he played very well last year in the relegation season.
He was a good player for us.
Arguably our best player. He had a little bit of a wobble at the start of the season. Clearly he didn't want to be in Wens. Fine. I don't know. I don't know what his attitude's like, but I feel that if there's any remote sense that he was up for the fight, I think he'd be worth pondering with a new manager.
I wonder if we could convince him to stay.
But I mean, it took him all of 1 game to kick up a fuss this season. So I think there's a job on Jones' hand to persuade him the Championships to Division 4.
Yeah, I mean, I won't put any money on him soon. But if we could, there is a player in there. You know, a midfield of Alan Etebo and Badu and Dan.
Brilliant.
That'd be great.
I mean, on paper, it's brilliant, isn't it? But
yeah, if it actually happens. Yeah. But yeah, 16 million euros we wanted apparently, or had written into the deal, and they're not gonna do that.
No,
there's no money in Turkish football. Well, there is, but not at Galatasaray, it seems.
No.
So Badu and Day back, as well as Mbula and the rest. Before we get onto the people's questions, there's something that we've been keeping our hats on.
I think this is your secret. I won't steal this.
A couple of podcasts, we said we had a secret, and that was the colour of the new away kit. Obviously, we've had a 2-week break, which left you all in suspense even longer, so we will reveal it now. But it is black.
I like the sound of that.
Sleek.
I don't know if you know the specific details, but is the badge logo a grey, or is it the colours, the red, white?
I think it's blacked out, black and white. I think
that looked quite good.
If I remember correctly, you know, it's not one of these where I've got an image on my phone I can show everyone.
No,
but
you heard it here first. Not going to reveal your source though.
No, definitely not. But yeah.
Unless
they change it by the time it comes around, they hear this and they go, right, we don't want that fucker again.
I never buy a kit. I've not bought a kit since.
An all black kit, I would have to.
I'd certainly have a little look at it in the club shop and think maybe.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know where to wear it. I never wear kits to games.
Just become a hipster. Just wear it like out and about.
It needs to be retro done if that's work.
Yeah, or smart. No, I mean, I've got the PSG Jordan kit. You know, that's
PSG Jordan kit. What's that?
Jordan. Air Jordan.
PSG as in...
Yeah, Jordan. As in Nike. Jordan. Michael Jordan.
No, but then PSG is in Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
Why have they teamed up with Jordan?
Because they're way ahead of Stoke, Craig. Well, and they do clothing partnerships.
So French football teams teamed up with a basketball player to make it kit.
Yeah, well, not a basketball player. Jordan's a brand on its own, in its own right.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah,
a premium brand.
Blew my mind. I didn't know what was going on. What are we on about? Is it a basketball team?
They wear it in the Champions League.
Do they?
Yeah, with the Jumpman logo instead of the Nike tip.
Right.
Okay, now. Well, some of you may have not known that, and you've all just had a lesson like Craig. But us fashionistas, people in the know. But yeah, that I'd wear just out and about because it's quite smart.
Okay.
Will I wear the Stoke one? Will you wear the Stoke one out and about?
Probably not. I don't think I'll buy it, but it sounds okay. It sounds progressive.
Sounds lovely. Let's get on to people's questions then. Now we've revealed that to you all. Jake Hall, as always, has sent us in a question, but it's someone else's. He's quote retweeted it. He says, "Here's a question: would you play for the club you were a fan of if you're exactly as good?" I've seen this. Exactly as good as you are. You'll make them worse and probably single-handedly be why they lose every week. You are guaranteed to start every game and the fans will hate you. 30k a week. And I'm clicking into this tweet because I know there's more to it. Fun twist. Consider how much the other players hate you. They don't understand why this is happening. They refuse to pass to you. And yet every kick-off there you are.
I think you'd have to do it and take the hit.
What?
Set you up for life, though. How long are you there for? A season or something?
It's a 4-year contract.
Oh, 4 years is a lot of shit to take, isn't it?
So imagine how soul destroying 4 years of just getting an absolute hammering. Your teammates hate you, your own fans hate you, your club hates you, and you are single-handedly the reason for their demise.
If you do that, and
what if you get relegated?
Well, exactly. And you're a Stoke fan, as we are. You'd effectively have to resign your support for Stoke because you couldn't come back after that as a fan, couldn't you?
No.
So yeah, well, no, probably no.
You wouldn't. For
30k a week, I'd have to give up on Stoke for life.
30k a week?
Nah, I couldn't do it.
A week, Craig.
Luckily, I'll never have to be really challenged on that point. I'm going to say no. I wouldn't do it.
No, I don't think I could either. I'll be honest. I know it's 30k a week, but I'd just be
so miserable.
Just be a shell of a man from all the abuse.
So miserable. You can never return to the city again.
And you just get pointed and laughed at in the street everywhere you went. You're that one who starts up front for Stoke who hasn't scored. Do you know what? I'm going to... Because it says... exactly as good as you are. I don't think I'm too bad of a player. I'll take my... I've changed my answer. I'll take my chances.
I think you could
I'd get 3 or 4.
You might be able to kind of get yourself to a certain standard, but you've never seen me play, but it's not... No, it's not fair on anyone.
See, I'm gonna say yes. 100% I'll take it.
Okay.
As good as I am, I think I I'd get a couple of goals, which isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, you wouldn't
I can
be
pass a ball.
disaster.
I can pass a ball. I can run about. I'm fit enough. I think I could get a bit fitter.
Shy.
I'll say yes to that question. Let us know in the comments. Would you do that teaser challenge? What would you do? Let us know in the comments. I think we've already covered that one. But Jiff or at Stoke staff says Ndiaye, Wimmer and Bula 50 million out on loan. Berahino 12 mil surplus to requirements. Craig, you're in charge. What do you do with Cartwright and Scholes?
We were having this discussion on the drive back, the Reading game on Saturday, and we worked out, including this season with Ince, Afobe, them 4 or 5 players that I mentioned there, we've spent pushing 100 million over the past few seasons. If you look at a business model at the CEO, and you're the boss of the CEO, i.e. Peter Coates, and you go, right, let's have a look what we're doing. So we spent this much, right, we must be doing well. And we're where we are. You have to sack that person, don't you?
Well, yeah.
You have to sack that person. And then if you can blame, it was the recruitment. Does Scholes have the ability to sack the recruitment team to fix the problem as the CEO? I assume he does, doesn't he? So, you have to. You have to. The recruitment is the reason we're in this mess. And whoever manages that, which I'm assuming is Tony Scholes, it's his fault.
So get him well.
Big time, yeah.
Get him gone. Geordie of Suburbia says, wouldn't we be better off playing Bauer at left back over Bruno? I understand he might not be fit, but Bruno is very poor going forward and passing.
That's a good comment. That Bruno had I felt he had an extremely poor game against Reading. I like Bruno at centre back. I think he's a reasonable footballer for a centre back, but at left back, it's never worked from day one. Which I think he was tried at left back under Hughes like 4 years ago, and he was shy then.
He played left wing at one point.
Did he? Bloody hell. He's a good centre back. Left back, it does not work, and I think there's some validation in that point. I do think we need to try another left back if, for whatever reason.
I mean, Bruno got
just stick him in the middle.
Bruno was in the Championship Team of the Week at left back.
I mean, at best he plays all right and does an ish job, but more often than not at left back he's exposed, and he had a really bad game on Saturday against Reading. Really bad game. So I think that's a worthwhile comment, yeah.
Ewan says, what's gayer, sitting on a cake and eating a dick, or sitting on a dick and eating a cake?
What type of cake is it? K in it.
He hasn't said. Please give us further clarification on what type of cake it is. Let's take a look at some more people. Stuart Faulkner also mentions about the 50 million out on loan. He says we need to sack the men who signed them on long contracts.
It's impressive, isn't it?
Stuart Faulkner is also a top fan on Facebook, so
well done.
He gets his comment read before anyone else. But we've actually got about 5 other top fans, so that's not actually true. Ed Roth, if you could bring one player from each of Norwich, Sheffield United and Leeds to Stoke, who would you pick? Billy Sharp, 100%. Yeah. Who's the other striker from Norwich, the one who's scoring them all? Pookie. Yeah. There we go, 2 strikers.
And who's the other team?
Leeds. From Leeds, I'd take Pontus Jansson at the back.
Yeah, I think that's I completely agree.
2 strikers and a defender. Yeah. Gary Pardy says, a plea to all Stoke fans, stick with the manager and no booing, I beg.
Completely agree.
Agree with that.
Yeah.
Sean Stubbs, also a top fan on Facebook, so is Gary Pardy, by the way, says, I'd love for us to go for Lolly in the summer. Do you think we should get him? Would he come? Would you want him?
I don't know enough.
Joe Lolly?
I don't know enough.
Is it Joe Lolly?
I don't know. I'm awful for anyone that listens to this. I'm awful outside of Stoke. I'm very Stoke City-centric. And
yeah, Joe Lolly from Forest.
I don't know enough. I'll hold my hands up, Al. Over to you.
I'll say no. I think we could get better.
I'll go with that then.
Tom Mellor says, where can the podcast be accessed? Well, Tom, glad you asked. YouTube, SoundCloud, Acast, iTunes, Spotify. We're on all those platforms.
Apple Music, is that not worth the effort?
Yeah. Well,
it's just iTunes, isn't it?
iTunes,
of course, yeah.
Podcasts, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
That's where Apple is. But yeah, you can get it in all those places. I think that's 5. Oh, Acast as well.
Yeah, that's enough.
5 or 6.
And if you've not got access to them, you're on you need to update your technology.
I don't know what you're quite doing if you can't get onto any of that.
Yeah.
What part of the team would you strengthen in the window? All of it. That's from Bradley Cope.
Yeah, I still think we need another winger. Probably a backup striker now, or another striker depending on what formation we're playing. Striker, winger. It's nuts, isn't it? We've the money we spend, we're still saying the same things. We're as weak as we've ever been. Striker and winger, I think. maybe a left back.
Yeah.
And probably a keeper the way it's going, because I imagine Butland will be off.
Yeah, he will. He will be off. And I think that's where we go for Tom Heaton, although he's got back into the Burnley side now and he's starting every week. So I think we're a bit knackered with that.
Joe Hart's...
I would not take Joe Hart.
You know.
Go nowhere near him, Craig. That's absolute madness. Lee Davis says, why do fans believe we've improved so much defensively? One for you here, Craig. We had a good 10 to 13 games where Gary Rowett did exactly the same. I believe the 2 players brought in were already done deals, so what would Gary have done even better?
I think Rowett, when the season started, realised that he got it wrong slightly and thought, well, I can't attack how I want to attack. I need to shore up the back. And I think Jones has realised exactly the same thing. I think he's come in, he wants to play this attacking formation to go bombing forward and all the rest of it, but he's realised quickly that if we do that, we're going to be dramatically exposed at the back. So basically, he has to sacrifice either attack or defence at the moment. So I think he's gone for the former.
Right.
And he's just realised we're not good enough going forward because it exposes us too much. I'm going to have to shore up the back for now. Any good team you build from the back, and I think that's the basic philosophy he's going for at the moment.
Okay. GP Mooney says, as soon as we get rid of Macron, we'll get promoted. Signing with them seemed to be the start of the downturn.
I don't mind Macron. I think they've done.
Do you? Oh, I hate Macron.
I bought the purple training top the other day for like a tenner because they are literally chucking stock out the door, aren't they? They can't
throwing it out.
12
They can't tweet enough about the sale in the store.
They work there. Or straight in there.
Straight in there. I'm trying to find some more questions of ones that we haven't already answered. Jack Lee, just his thoughts, says Nathan Jones is definitely the man to take us forward, different to our other managers.
I have got so much faith in Jones. I don't know what it is about him that it's just so likeable, and I think, I'm convinced he's going to get us where we need to get to. Absolutely convinced. I mean, we're not seeing much on the pitch at the moment, but it all starts with personality, an idea, a passion, and he's got the lot, Jones. I've got a lot of faith he's going to get us there. Stick with him.
Mr. Tambo Mambo says, next 3 fixtures, how many points can you see us getting them? Wednesday at home, Blackburn away and Swansea away.
I think the next 3 fixtures we will...
All 0-0s, 3 points.
Yeah, we won't score, won't concede. That's 3 points in the bag.
I'm gonna say 4 points, a win and a draw and a loss.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. Yeah.
James Price, how many sugars do you have in your tea?
None.
None?
No.
I'm 1.
I don't like it with sugar in it. I think it's... Yeah, I'm not a fan of sugar in tea at all. Or coffee.
Not like it?
No.
Andy Corden, am I right in saying we need to get rid of Tom Ince?
I understand where he's coming from. I'm not completely there. I'm not a million miles off that sentiment, but... Yeah, no, I get his point.
You get the point.
Yeah.
James Archer, when will we be back in the Premier League? I'll say not next season, the season after.
I'm going to say next season because
why not? Going to go
be
for it.
Positive.
Which also answers Charlie12364's question. Lastly, Ben Cousins, thoughts on the Moritz Bauer situation? Should he start?
Who was that? Moritz Bauer fan page.
Bauer fan.
They tweeted us.
They haven't tweeted us this week. Could be Moritz just having a rest from Twitter.
I go with the philosophy that the managers see them training day in, day out. This is Rowett, now Jones, that decided he's not worthy of first team place. I think there's something underlining that as fans we're not kind of aware of. I just have to have faith in that decision at the moment. I don't know why or what's happened to him, but
we don't know.
I'll go with that.
We don't
know much on this sometimes, to be honest. We've got no insight.
Why do we do a podcast?
I don't know. We've got no insight to the club.
We do have an insight. We told everyone the new kit.
Well, you did.
Well, yeah.
You've got a bit more insight than I have.
That was me. But that has been the Bear Pit Pod. It's
another
the international
positive experience.
As always.
Yeah.
It's the international break this weekend.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who we're playing.
England against someone.
Is it Mexico? Is that a friendly? If I imagine that.
Mate, they're not in the Euros qualification.
Oh, is it Euros? Oh, I thought it's friend. I
think we've got...
Oh, is it the start of the
Why don't I just
Yes,
Google it?
I mean, Jack's in it. There's your Stoke reference. Jack's in the squad.
So we have got Czech Republic on Friday night, and then Montenegro on Monday. Not Mexico.
Before anyone says I'm fully aware that Mexico's not in Europe, I thought it was a friendly interval or whatever.
Mexico just had a belting new kit brought out, by the way. Go and check that out. That's a sleek.
You're a fan of your kits?
That's a sleek black kit.
Is it? Macron.
Not Macron, it's Adidas. So that has been the Bear Pit Pod. We won't see you next week because why would we report on the international break?
The England-Mexico game, no one cares.
No one cares about England-Mexico. So you can catch us, if you didn't hear earlier on Acast, iTunes, SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify. There's another. We're everywhere. Just have a look, we're probably there. But that has been the Bear Pit Pod. This is also the last time you'll see us in this studio. We don't know where we'll be, but we're being kicked out of this one.
We will be somewhere else.
We'll be somewhere. I mean, we might be reporting from the street outside, but there will be a podcast in a couple of weeks, but we'll be in a different place. Yeah. But that has been the Bear Pit Pod. Thank you for watching. See you later.